Madam President, honorable, honorable ministers, ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before I start my speech, I just wanted to say something. I come from Egypt, and the very first forms of government existed in my country since the year 3150 BC. By then, the king at the central government, and he has a vizier and public services in the center, and this is how they run the country. Later on, like 1,000 years later, they duplicated the services in the north and in the south, and then duplicated again the offices and the services in the different regions of the country. Let's just say that this remained the form of government for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Now, a few years ago, Japan was looking and trying to produce an ID card. And they're trying to see what are the best examples around the world to do that. They looked around. United States, no. Singapore, no. Where did they go? Up north, in Estonia. So from the very first forms of government that lasted centuries and centuries and thousands of years, here we are in Estonia, setting an example for the whole world on a new way on how governments should run and are run in this era of digital revolution. Congratulations to all of you. What an achievement. What an achievement. Your leadership, insight, vision, courage is truly inspirational to everybody, especially to countries like where I come from with heavy bureaucracy, and also countries in the continent of Africa where we are starting from more humble beginnings. So thank you for setting this wonderful example to all of us. I may now start my official speech, if you would allow. So I learned an Estonian word, tere hommikust. So allow me first and most of all, on behalf of the African Union Commission, to thank the people and the government of Estonia and the e-Governance Academy for the warm welcome and the hospitality extended to us in this beautiful, most advanced country in the area of ACT, in Estonia. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today because we are convinced of the vital role ICT plays in the advancement of the world. We live in an era of digital and networked economies, qualified as the fourth industrial era. The formal frameworks used to design and structure firms, organizations, lead, govern, and value them are being totally transformed. The driving force behind this accelerating change is the digital or collaborative economy, that's to say, a shift from firm-based to network-based business models. This digital revolution and collaborative economy offer a unique opportunity for Africa to transform itself and to catch up with the rest of the world in all areas, notably in the areas of education, health, peace, security, agriculture, good governance, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, during the last decade, Africa has witnessed great progress in developing ICT sector and in increasing access to internet, notably through wireless technologies. In the past 5 years, undersea submarine cables have brought a 20-fold increase in international bandwidth. In the same period, the terrestrial infrastructure also doubled. The internet is growing fast in Africa, and mobile subscriptions are just off 70%, while mobile broadband access accounts for more than 90% of internet subscriptions. But still, Africa lags behind the other regions. On the ICT Development Index of 2016, only 5 countries, Mauritius, Seychelles, South Africa, Morocco, and Cape Verde, rank among the first 100 worldwide. Nevertheless, recent years have seen great progress in the sector. Last September, Broadband Commission reported 45 countries in Africa, among 55, have developed their national broadband policy, while a number of countries have undertaken a review of their policies and refocused their strategies towards major digital services development priorities. It has been noticed that African countries are increasingly embracing innovation and utilizing ICT to effectively deliver services and engage in transforming the way the public sector operates. One of the most important trends in Africa is governments moving towards electronic governance for developing new administrative services and engaging women, youth, and vulnerable through e-participation processes and platforms to support increased interaction between citizens and governments. As an example of successful digital experiences, we have, for instance, I mentioned Mauritius. According to the UN survey, Mauritius ranks first in Africa and 58 worldwide in e-government initiatives. We also have the example of Tunisia. Excuse me. Tunisia's leadership and dedication to high standards in e-government and public access to information was recognized again, and it was the recipient of an award for best services in e-administration in the UN survey 2014. We have Kenya, of course. The country is recognized as leader in the money transfer using mobile phones. I'm sure you all heard of M-Pesa, allowing users all over the world to transfer money directly through a mobile device. M-Pesa has 15 million customers and accounts for 12% of Kenya's GDP. Rwanda has been working in transforming its community telecenters to provide small business support to low-income communities, business development, agriculture support services, e-government, and health services. Burkina Faso, which where less than 5% of the population has access to the internet, may soon be a pioneer in e-government. After launching a cloud networking in 2014, the authorities made 50 government data sets available to the public online and became the second country after Rwanda to begin conducting paperless cabinet meetings. The socio-economic situation of Africa requires the African governments to look for efficient and cost-effective means to provide service delivery to the citizens through the use of ICTs. Thus, strategies, initiatives provide an enormous opportunity for the continent to deliver services without having to rely on traditional manual processes by adopting the principles of and the technologies of e-government. Nevertheless, much remains to be done to harness the benefit of using ICT in Africa. The progress in African governance remains relatively slow and uneven, and this is where our role comes as African Union Commission. So the African Union vision for the ICT sector in Africa is to build in partnership with all stakeholders the soft and hard infrastructure that will enable the continent to participate in the information society and lead the fundamental changes for the 21st century in the digital economy. Our priorities are to enhance the intra-Africa and cross-border connectivity, to ensure affordable access to Africans and users who are paying up to 30 or 40 times more for internet access than their peers in developed countries, to create an enabling environment and harmonize the policy and regulatory frameworks at regional and continental levels to facilitate and support the development of e-strategies and e-governance structures, to build the capacity on the key pillars of e-governance, including capacity of policymakers on legal and regulatory issues, promoting e-literacy and development of local content and applications, develop mechanisms for maintaining ICT data and statistics for policy analysis to ensure the exploitation of the opportunities that ICT services can offer to the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from Madam President, Estonia is very much associated also with cybersecurity. This is an area where Africa needs also help and support and technical assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't end my remarks without congratulating Estonia again for the leadership and engagement in creating this opportunity for sharing experiences, best practices, to enable experts, decision makers from all parts of the world to network on the modalities to develop e-governance plans and strategies, and ultimately to help create a better world for all of us. Thank you. Aita.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And thank you.
Wow, it's an e-gift.
Almost.